Now, the Holiday World Show has been taking place in the RDS this weekend and continues till 5:30 this evening. 40,000 people will attend over the course of the weekend. Over 1,000 travel professionals are there from all around the world trying to entice you to both near and far. Eoghan Corry is editor of Travel Extra. I invited you in the last discussion. I forgot to introduce you. Editor of Travel. You've nipped up from the RDS. I gather you are the Tom Cruise of the RDS this weekend.
I think that's stretching it a little bit. I think Tom Cruise's learned lawyers will be onto us very quickly. No, it's I do a lot of consumer sessions. People come in, ask questions. The real key is face-to-face contact, Marian. It's a lot of, when you're looking for information nowadays, it's a lot of press button 1 for Alaska and press button 2 for Hawaii.
Know, yeah.
So when the Holiday World people, Maureen Ledwith and Edmund Harrigan, have been doing for 29 years, bringing all these people into the hall, you can actually meet someone who's been to the place, comes from it, can tell you if you want to pay for a good hotel, this is what you do. If you want to work around the scenes, this is how you do it. And they were queuing up to get in on Friday. Hasn't happened for quite a few years that we've had a queue down the driveway of the Simmons Court, but that was happening on Friday, and this morning it was very lively as I left.
God, in such a short space of time since the crash.
Yeah, there's lots of things have got a lot of wind behind them. I think the crash did a couple of things to the Irish travel industry. It gave them an opportunity to work prices, to negotiate with hoteliers, to try and get costs down on some of the things that were running away a little bit. Airlines grew exponentially during the crisis. Ryanair certainly would have regarded the recession as an opportunity, while the big traditional carriers really suffered, the Alitalias of the world, and Ireland has gained with that because we're very much we're at the heart of the low-cost aviation revolution, thanks to Ryanair, but also the Irish customer was very, very quick to embrace the internet. People who would have balked at giving a credit card number when they saw a flight for $19.99 were very quick to rush out with it. In the last 18 months, we've seen a new aviation revolution, which is low-cost across the Atlantic.
Norwegian.
What Norwegian are doing is stunning. I flew into Newburgh, into Stewart International last year, and the airport's so small, they actually get...
I love that.
The baggage belt that you check in and brings it down to the baggage hall, they put that into reverse, and all the customers get off and they wait around the check-in desk and they get their bags. The Norwegian people, I was with them last week, they said they had you sell off the €130 one way, it can be €100 sale fare. They also had factored in all these Irish people were going to pay for their drink and their meals, and they're going to pay extra for the bag.
Like Ryanair.
Guess what happened? The Irish didn't pay the extra for the bag. They didn't pay. The people I sat beside were students from Galway. They had downloaded their entertainment on their tablet. They didn't buy a drink. And because it flies into upstate New York, it's a little bit out of Manhattan.
But not too far.
Not too far, and it virtually lands on top of Woodbury Common. It's 20 minutes away from the big
destination
the big
for
shopping
shoppers.
mall that all the Manana Heron used to go to in huge numbers. But it's also very close to a very big Irish centre. All that Blauvelt, Pearl River, Rye, huge Irish American population. So everybody had a cousin meeting them in the airport.
Right.
Then they were going down to Manhattan. The other destination hasn't performed as well. Providence, Rhode Island, we all know from school it's the smallest state. I didn't quite realise how small it is. It's the size of County Clare. So when you land in Rhode Island...
County Clare.
County Clare is magnificent. My ancestors come from there. So it's very, very convenient to Boston. It hasn't been performing as well as upstate New York, but Norwegian are looking, because of Brexit and other factors, at a big expansion out of Dublin. We could actually see the number of those flights increasing, and transatlantic is where a lot of the revolution in Irish travel has been. This summer we'll have more than 40 flights a day to North America. New routes.
And will they fill them all?
They are filling them by various means. The low-cost option which Norwegian is using, Aer Lingus are turning Dublin into the 5th biggest hub in Europe for transfer passengers. Yeah. Flying in from England, from France, and getting through your pre-clearance, getting off the other end. Pre-clearance, it's not just the convenience of not having to queue the other end, it reduces your connection time. You fly into JFK, Terminal 5, you actually can get off in a domestic gate, walk 3 gates down and get the next flight on. I had 14 minutes to make a connection to New Orleans, and I made it, and the bag made it. It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. The flight was delayed. That was out of...
control.
It's the key to.
But it's putting a lot of pressure on Dublin Airport.
Oh,
I've
there's no
noticed
doubt.
over the last couple of
I
years.
think you cans are too close to the.
Okay.
Yeah, but that-
Particularly commuting transatlantic, and it's getting worse and worse and worse in terms of the queues.
well, this is it. It swings and roundabouts. Because if you go, say, to a small airport, I like going, if I'm going to London, to go into the small
London City.
airport.
I like London City, yeah.
But if you want to have a hub where you don't have to fly to London in order to go to America or Dubai or points west, there are advantages and disadvantages.
And the biggest advantage is it makes routes viable that would not be viable just from Irish passengers. Dublin-Seattle is not something I ever expected to see. We're getting it in April. We've got 2 services to Philadelphia. We've got a new Miami service just there in September. Aer Lingus are talking about opening 10 more of these. When they get the aviation technology, the A321neo is effectively a short-haul aircraft. It can go as far as Milwaukee. They're talking to airports all over the East Coast, and because they have this confidence given them by the feed coming from other countries that you're not reliant on the Irish economy, we're going to see a plethora of new transatlantic routes.
What about, can I just, because I'm watching my clock here, I gather Ireland has a big tent down there.
The domestic home holiday market really pitching. You've got to remember that our inbound tourism is very strong. We're getting 10 million in. But what keeps the hoteliers, what keeps all of us going is the domestic market, particularly the shoulder season, something that I haven't seen for a long time. Big investment in boats on the Shannon. What happened in the recession was they were all taken off and moved off to France and places like that. So the big investment in hotels, attractions, the people that are run Irish waterways, we know them for maintaining locks and keeping the bank from spilling over. They've put in a huge investment in blueways, kayaking trails, boardwalk in County Leitrim, where you actually cross the lake from village to village. A lot of emphasis on activities, and we can't get enough.
Those greenways were terrifically
The greenways,
successful.
there was a little bit of a break on the greenways because there's so many legal difficulties getting people to give right away across the land. The towpaths along the canals and the rivers, that gave them an outlet, but we've tons more work to do there. And then Europe, an extra 250,000 seats from Ryanair and an extra 96,000 seats from Ryanair going to Europe this summer, because they see the growth in demand is coming back again, and access is everything. It's opening up 42 different routes to Spain, where we would have only had a couple of dozen years gone by. 2 million Irish went to Spain last year out of our population.
2 million.
Anyway,
listen, I'm going to have to leave it there. Can I just say thank you very much to all our contributors to the programme today, but we're clean out of time. Today's programme was produced by Rachel Graham. Researchers are Michelle Brown and Katrina McFadden. Broadcasting coordinator is Jarlath Holland, and the series producer is Margaret Curley. That's all from us for today. Until the next time, a very good day to you.
The Marian Finucane Show on RTE Radio 1 with FBD Insurance. Home cover you can trust. See what you can save on fbd.ie.